I'm Breanna Stewart, and you're watching Balanced Sports.
Do you like women's sports? Sports across the gender spectrum? How about you're sick of men's sports? Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
On this show, we work to level the sports coverage across the gender spectrum.
Welcome to Balanced Sports.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Jewelz.
Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Balanced Sports. I'm Jewelz. And Hunter is not here. Obviously, Hunter is an invaluable member of this team and is irreplaceable. However, today we are replacing him with a cat. So this is Helen of Helen, Rainier, and Baker, my foster cats. Let's see how this goes. So because Hunter's not here, so cute. Even though Hunter is off shitting in the woods, we are still going to have a great show. Lately, I have spoken to Epiphany Prince, Gabby Williams, Stewie, Jewel Lloyd, so I'm really excited to share all of those. I even got some interviews with some Mystics players, but we'll get into that later. First things first, let's talk about Chicago. Chicago bounced back from a Game 1 loss to have a decisive win over the New York Liberty, a 100-62. Y'all, that is a 38-point smack down. Kalia Copper had 20 points. Courtney Vandersloot had 16. Azari Stevens, 14. Candace Parker had a double-double and 12 points. And Rebecca Gardner had 11 points. If I can find a bright point in this smackdown, they had 39 points off the bench. And we stop right there. Sabrina really didn't do a whole lot. Han and Onyenweda were the two players in double digits, each having 10 points. Ooh. New York had 19 turnovers, and the Sky were able to earn 25 points off of those turnovers. So nothing was really working for them. I'm hopeful that Game 3 will be much more exciting, much more competitive. But, I mean, New York came out. Really? Can you not? I'm hopeful that Game 3 will be much more exciting and much more competitive. That'll go down Tuesday night. Whoo-wee. This Chicago game was referenced a couple of times by some Seattle personnel. Sue Bird, at the end of the game, we saw what happened in Chicago. Coach Quinn at a certain point was like, did you see the Chicago score? Like, it was on people's minds, this Chicago-New York matchup. Congratulations to the number 1 seed Las Vegas as they sent Phoenix packing with a 37-point blowout, 117-80. Ho, let's get into it. So the gang's all here. That's right, it takes 3 cats to replace Hunter. No, stay in your seat. So Vegas had 6 players in double digits. The point goal, Chelsea Gray had 27, KP had 22, Asia Wilson had 17, Ms. Jackie Young had 15, and Raquana Williams and KB, Kirsten Bell, had 11 each. Nearly every player on the Aces had a positive plus-minus. So everything was really working for them. And it makes me nervous. The positive aspect for the Mercury is that it's over. They've just been through a lot this year, and I'm very hopeful that people will be able to get healthy, Shea Petty, DT, and they can regroup. We're not doing this. You gotta stay in your seat. Nope. Baker. Okay, I'm gonna say what needs to be said, and that is that blowouts are not fun to watch. I'm expecting the rest of the games to be a bit more competitive. The number 1 and the number 2 seeds crushed this 8 and the 7, and so I'm hopeful that the rest of the games will be a bit more competitive and fun to watch. Okay, now that the cats are now eating my cords, I'm gonna adjust. Moving on to Big D. Dallas was able to come back and get a big win against the Connecticut Sun, 89-87. Dallas had 5 players in double digits. Kayla Thornton with a 20-piece, Alicia Gray with 15, Tiara McCowan with a double-double, 17 points, 11 boards, and Marina Mayberry with 14 points. So Dallas came out hard. At the end of the first quarter, Dallas was winning 22-7. I literally gasped. I was just like, oh my goodness, I was not expecting this, which my spouse said, you're being dramatic. They won nearly every quarter except the fourth quarter, but by that time it was a little too late. Watching that game, Connecticut could not hit the broadside of a barn. 7 points. 7 points. 7 points? Like 7 points? It kind of reminds me of that Friends episode
seven, 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 seven.
Both of the Joneses showed a respectable 20 points each in this loss. I am still expecting Connecticut to come out and win game 3 and show them what is up, but I am not going to be shocked if Dallas comes out ahead. At the beginning of the playoffs, when everyone was seated, I was going around and making my predictions, and I said to myself, now, the top seed isn't going to win in each one of these games, are they? I don't know. What's the likelihood? There's got to be like an upset, or, a lower seed's going to win. Truthfully, I thought that it might be us. It wasn't. I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to be shocked if Dallas takes it. This should be a good game. Speaking of competitive games, we have the Seattle Storm beating the Washington Mystics 97-84. Seattle is moving on to Las Vegas. Another great game by the 4 and 5 seeded teams. 10 lead changes in this game. I didn't feel like we were going to win until about the last 4 minutes of the game, and I said, okay, we got this. The second I stopped talking, Cloud hit another 3, and I was like, okay, prove me wrong. Maybe we don't have it. Seattle was nearly perfect from the line. Tina Charles uncharacteristically missed her 2 free throws, but everybody else hit them all, including Stewie, who had 7 free throws and went 7 for 7 from the line. Gabby Williams did sustain a concussion during the game, and we definitely love Gabby here. I know y'all all love her, so hopeful for a full recovery. Luckily, the Storm won't play again until Sunday. I don't know how long the concussion protocol is, but hopefully she'll be good to go. Most importantly, that she, her health will be back to normal, and she's not having terrible symptoms and things that come with concussions. So thoughts and good vibes are with Gabby. Seattle's starting 5 were all in double digits. Stewie nearly had a triple-double. She had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Jewel Lloyd had 19. Gabby had 14. We had 12 points from Tina Charles. And Sue Bird, the GOAT herself, with a double-double, 18 points, 10 assists, making her the most seasoned WNBA player to have a double-double at the age of 41. Here's a little moment from the press conference where I was truly in awe of Sue.
I remember a moment a little bit after that when you had the one-legged shot kind of at the end, you just gave a shrug. Like, you felt like you were in the zone, but like if that one, that would have been kind of the cherry on top.
No. There's a little bit of a backstory. I've been working on this one-legged shot. I actually got fouled on it earlier, which I was very proud about. I have been working that one-legged runner both ways. I've been working on it all off-season, and every now and then in practice it comes out. I've done it like a handful of times in games. All my teammates know about it. So that was just kind of me having fun at the end. The shot going in or not going in wasn't going to make or break the game. And the shrug was actually to Ryan Webb, because he's the one that I was working on it with in the off season. He was in the crowd today, and I could see his arms up because I did it at all. And I was like, I wish it went in. So that was just like a playful moment, because I've legit been working on that. Maybe if I played a couple more years, it would have been my shot.
After 20 seasons in the WNBA, Sue is still looking to add to her game. Truly a GOAT. I think that just speaks so much to her mindset and her dedication to the game, and she is truly next level. Washington did play a really good game. Coach T said in the post-game interview that 84 points usually indicates a win for them, and it just wasn't enough. Like, they also had 5 players in double digits. Cloud had 21, Ariel Atkins had 15, Shatori and EDD each had 12, and Alicia Clark had 10. Both teams turned the ball over 10 times, but Washington was only able to capitalize and get 4 points off of the turnovers that Seattle allowed. So it just wasn't their night, and it was really unfortunate for them that, their season came to an end. I knew, okay, this team just lost, and now let's talk about it. It's always uncomfortable when a team loses. This one felt particularly uncomfortable because, the season also ended for Washington. There were times it got so uncomfortable. You can find the interviews and just watch the whole thing. But there were just moments of like, guys, they are people who have feelings, who love this game, and like, I don't know. I had another reporter tell me that, I'm coming at this like a fan. That's not a lie, but I'm also coming at it as a deeply empathetic person and a person who used to play sports, and to ask some of these questions just feel like, how would you feel? Like, several times either Coach T or the Washington players would say like, I don't know, the season just ended 10 minutes ago, or, it's hard to process some of the questions that they're being asked. So I'll just share some highlights.
I'm not really going to have that conversation with you guys right now. I haven't even formulated my own opinions about some things. No offense, but it's really not a fair question to ask me at this moment.
I'm tired of talking about past years. Those years don't matter. It's 2022, and we just got knocked out in the first round of playoffs. So, honestly, respectfully, I don't give a fuck about any year before this. Like,
able to catch up with Stu and say a couple things to her. Would you mind sharing what you said and also what?
I knew it was going to be uncomfortable, but I did want to take this time and stretch myself a bit and ask a question during this uncomfortable time, because when you're uncomfortable, that's when you're growing. And so I asked a question to Ariel Atkins. Ariel, as y'all all know, is one of Hunter's favorite players, Hook 'em. So I wanted to hear from her.
Ariel, I just want to know, what are you most proud of for this season?
I still think we fought. I do think we got better. As hard as that is to kind of see right now, I do think we got better collectively as a unit as far as learning how to communicate with each other and even our IQ. Like, there's a lot of times where we just had to sit and break things down. So I'm really proud of that, because I think that's going to force me to become a better student of the game. And so I'm proud of the trajectory of our team. Sucks that it ended so early. But I am very proud of the foundation that we have here in the Mystics organization.
This was not a groundbreaking question, but I did want to hear something positive. I wanted to give her an opportunity to say something positive about her team or herself, because in a loss, sometimes all you can see is the negativity and the hurt and the pain of the season ending. You just think about it. Like, these players are asked to basically do like a performance appraisal right after the game. It's kind of wild. No other job, you have to do that, right? We're going to get into some interviews, and we're going to start with the Mystics. So I got to sit down with Natasha Cloud and ask her a couple of questions. And then after that, EDD sat down immediately.
Oh, Jewelz, Natasha. Nice to meet you.
Natasha?
Yeah, that's great.
All right. How you doing today?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. How you been?
Thanks for asking. I'm really excited. Like, y'all here in playoff basketball. Like,
It's great basketball too, ain't it?
Super. Yeah, like that last game was like lit.
Favor, but that's great basketball.
It didn't. Sorry for that.
Yeah,
but like, hell of exciting matchup.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a really fun game to be a part of. But ready for game 2.
Right?
Sure.
Right?
For sure. Check 1 2 1 2.
Beautiful, beautiful. You've done this before. Okay, we're gonna start with music.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. It's not directly into basketball.
No. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I appreciate that.
So I'm gonna start with Lizzo, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce dropped some new things in the latest week.
Yeah.
Are any of them spinning in your rotation?
I ain't even gonna hold you, no.
All right, cut the camera.
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Okay,
we got Tiana, who is a part of the Beehive.
Okay.
I appreciate Beyonce.
Sure.
I appreciate her.
I'm
gonna know a few songs, but
for sure.
That's just not like my go-to.
I hear you.
I thought you was gonna say Kehlani,
I heard.
Brent.
Okay.
I'm a very big.
Put us on. What are you spinning?
R&B type feel. So shoot, I'll read you my.
Let us know.
Okay.
Well, what should we be listening to?
I'll just go to like the top Thames. Period.
Okay.
Thames.
Thames.
See now
we're cutting. Now we're
cut
no.
this shit. Thames.
Okay.
I'll wait for you.
No,
okay?
Sing it a little closer to the mic.
Nah, y'all don't want to hear my vocals because I might break this. But come on, Thames.
Okay.
Before Future came in, she already had that song out.
That's what's
just
up.
a whole ass vibe.
Okay.
But we gonna go with we got Ella May, Brent, Burna Boy, Lil Baby, Lil Durk.
Okay.
Giveon.
Do you have the aux cord in the locker room?
No,
Who
Elizabeth
does?
Williams does,
Okay.
and she does a phenomenal job. We call her DJ E Will.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay. Let's move to young athletes. So if a young athlete wants to model their game after you, what do they need to master?
I like that question. Right, it's always, you try to emulate your favorite players and you take pieces of their game, but at the same time, I always tell kids, be you. That's one thing I hated about being recruited, even in college, was, oh, you're the next this person.
Right.
No, I'm the next Natasha Cloud.
Facts.
And I'm going to have, players that I favor and that I like and I admire, and I want to take pieces of each, but I'm going to be a own version of myself. But my story has been an underdog story. I've just put my head down and worked, believed in myself, and just understanding who I was and, my strengths, my weaknesses, and just that hunger to continuously get better and not prove to anyone else that I deserve to be here, but to more so prove to myself that everything that I believed is true.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You call yourself and other people call you a dog. Like, what does that mean to be a dog?
I'm a fiery motherfucker, okay?
We can cuss on our show. You go right
Oh,
ahead.
I love that. I'm a fiery motherfucker, okay? Period. I'm with the rah-rah.
Okay.
But no, I'm just a dog. Whatever I got to do to get things done, that's what I'm going to do. If I need to dive on floors, if I need to guard the best player on the other team, if I need to switch on to a 5, I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to get after it. And I think it's just my competitiveness and my just will to want to win. But on the other side, too, like, I'm very protective. I think that's, in my nature is to just be protective. And I think that comes out in a lot of forms, especially as a point guard, too.
That's what's up. Okay. What kind of stories would you like to see covered more in the WNBA?
It's a tough one, right? Because I love all the big names of our league. Absolutely love them, respect them. It's an honor to go against them and be in the league with them.
Absolutely.
Disclaimer before I say anything, but you can't focus on the 1%.
Facts.
You can't do it. There's too many beautiful stories in this league that don't get told, and you don't know about players the way that you should. So I just wish that we would market everyone and not just certain individuals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sticking with that, what does it mean to be the face of the league?
Am I?
No, I mean just like in general. Like, what does that mean? Is that a discussion that y'all have? Like, who's a part of that? How do you get to decide who's the face of the league?
This is another hard one. You can look at who we market, jersey sales, and you can see the demographic that it is.
Gotcha.
Our league is built up of 80-some% black women. So I think the demographic shift needs to happen too, as well, in telling black women's stories.
Absolutely.
And so that's where I hope it moves to. It doesn't have to be, again, any hate towards who they are marketing, but there's over 144 players. Well, we're less now because of the 11-man roster. But
right.
It's a lot of stories to be told and a lot of beautiful stories.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want you to know that you were voted most underrated player by my viewers for Balance Sports.
I fuck with y'all.
There we go.
I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Go Mystics.
There you go. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, just take my seat. Oh, you are the absolute best. I will be the quickest I absolutely can. Here you go. Do you mind holding that?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Yep, you're in frame. Perfect. My name's Jewelz, by the way.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. What makes the Mystics culture so special?
I think it just is like a family atmosphere, and it starts from the top, like with Coach T and Nancy. They bring that family environment, and it kind of just seeps through the entire team, and we know the importance of caring for the person next to you. So I would say it starts with them, and we've been able to kind of carry it through the whole team.
Okay. Sports builds leadership, they say. Yes. What are some underrated leadership qualities that you've seen in your teammates throughout your career that people don't talk about?
I think sometimes you think leaders have to be like super loud all the time, or give the big speech, but it's like, who are the consistent people that show up every single day, that see someone who might be down and find a way to kind of uplift them. So not always the outward things that you see, but the small things and noticing what someone needs in a moment to pick them up.
Who has done that for you over your career?
I mean, there's been a variety of people that have done that for me. I can't really pinpoint one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Last one. Where do you get your NBA news, and like, where do you think the coverage should go? That's not like person. It's like other stories, or like just like I get it from Twitter or get it from YouTube. Like, where are you looking to hear?
I actually don't really get news. I stay away from it.
She don't care what y'all got to say.
Thank
Facts.
you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Good luck.
Meet you in person.
You're the best.
I edit these, but I don't always know. Sometimes I cut a lot of stuff for time because we try and keep this a 30-minute show-ish. And so sometimes a lot of stuff we talk about gets cut out. I know I've gushed on Elena Delle Donne before. I don't know if it's actually made it to a video, but I'm a big EDD fan. I remember watching some interviews about her years and years ago when she left Connecticut to go play at Delaware. I loved that decision. I played field hockey at Old Dominion University, and when I was in school, ODU was in the same conference as Delaware. So just having someone like Elena Delle Donne leave UConn and come to a CAA school, you want to spread around the talent. And so I was just happy that she came to a CAA school and a smaller school at that. EDD also has a sister with special needs, and so her desire to be around her family and prioritize that, I just loved it. And she always just seems like such a sweet person. There was a little thing that Elena said at the end of our interview, just as she was just as she was standing up, and she said, "Nice to meet you in person." She said that to me, which I just thought was really sweet and nice. And at the end of game 1, I asked a question about the physicality of the game, and Elena answered. And so when she said, "Nice to meet you in person," I had asked her a question. We had spoke before in life that one time days ago. And so for her to say that to me was just really nice. And I was just like, wow, like that was an exceptionally nice thing you did to make, a reporter feel seen. And I did. Thanks, EDD. I will also acknowledge that she was fake laughing to get out of the interview, but I'm okay with that because she only had 2 minutes. So I absolutely loved Tasha Cloud's reaction to learning that the Ballort community had voted her the most slept on player, aka the most underrated player. What a treat. What a treat. Loved her reaction to that. This next interview is with Breanna Stewart.
Do I have to hold it?
No, I have my own. So you good. That one's for you. I'm Jewelz, by the way. Do you call yourself Stewie?
When I introduce myself to basketball people, yes. Because I feel like that's how everybody knows me.
Was there a moment or a person who kind of let you know that this could be, like, when you're in high school or maybe college, that, like, you could play at the next level?
Yeah, I think the person was my dad. It was when I was in high school and, really getting onto the recruiting scene and getting attention from a lot of people, whether it was AAU teams, colleges, this, that, and the other. And it was kind of like at that same moment, we were like, okay, I can go and play college, can play college basketball, get a scholarship, things like that. And then obviously going to UConn, having success there, then it was like, okay, the WNBA is going to be the next stop on this tour.
Did that ever scare you? Like the idea of like going professional and like...
No, it excited me. I think that, wanting to be able to play against the best players in the world and knowing that this was the league that was going to set me up for that and continue to try and just make myself better and in return help the WNBA be better.
Right on. So you've said a couple times on interviews that you're in your prime.
Yeah.
How do you know you're in your prime? Like what about your body or your game has changed that you're like, oh, this is it?
Yeah.
Or I'm peaking, or however you look at it.
I think that, you're in your prime because, obviously the way that my body is feeling, having an awareness and understanding of what's going to happen on the court. I think that, for my first couple of years in the league, it's kind of like, all right, what's happening? Defenses are doing what? What does that mean? This, that. So now, like, obviously realizing it, but expecting it. And then able to have confidence in what I do and know that, when I'm on the court, I want to be the best and want to make it really tough for the other team.
Oh, okay. So people say sports teaches leadership.
Yep.
What are some maybe underrated leadership qualities that you've seen in your teammates throughout your career? That's from high school all the way up.
Yeah.
Just underrated things that people maybe don't talk about from a leadership standpoint.
I think some underrated leadership qualities are, it doesn't always have to be what's said. It can be led by example. Just being a good teammate, being there for your teammates, your coaches, things like that. Obviously, it's like there's, leadership and like telling people where to be and this and that and the other. But it can also be like, hey, how are you? Like, are you doing okay? Like things like that, because it's like, sometimes when you get like lost in the season or other things, players kind of lose perspective of what's happening, and being able to catch them and bring them back to reality.
That's what's up. Who has exhibited those for you?
I mean, Sue's a great leader. Being able to be around her when I was in college, USA Basketball, and then obviously being drafted to Seattle, she's someone that's always been in my corner, been looking out for me, trying to help me on and off the court. And, I was thinking about this when we had her final regular season game and things like that. And it's like, without her being able to be herself, like because she could be herself, now I could be myself. You know what I mean? And seeing that, and that's a different type of leadership. Is she just living her life genuinely?
That's a beautiful answer.
Segue.
Yeah, no, it's skipped ahead. I'm gonna skip ahead over here, but a question that I had was, many people choose to be private about their life.
Yeah.
Like, why did you choose to be openly gay when so many people are like, I'm just not gonna talk about my personal life?
I chose to be openly gay because I know that I have a huge platform, and I am not hiding the way that I live my life. I'm living my life, and if anybody has an opinion, good, bad, or indifferent, I don't really care. That's really how I feel.
Thanks.
But I feel like, we're in a time where it's like people should be able to live their life freely and however they want, and that's what I want to do, and hopefully that carries on to many other people.
Awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that. Little off the court stuff. Stewie's World.
Yep.
What was the impetus behind Stewie's World? Was it fun?
Yeah.
Like, how did that come about?
Oh gosh. Yeah, Stewie's World was a lot of fun. We might have to run that back at some point.
Yes!
It's so hard when you're so busy, but especially in the bubble, just being able to kind of connect, really to bridge the gap between professional athletes, college players. I think that's something that the WNBA is lacking in compared to the men's side, where you see, a lot of stuff on social media, or, LeBron or KD like showing love to a high school standout. So I think that's important. And, as we're going to grow this league, we're growing it all together. It's not like you're not on my side or things like that, because these players are going to be in the WNBA one day.
Absolutely. It does seem like y'all as like the players have like a group chat where you're all together with things. And that may not be the case, but it seems that way.
Yeah.
And so the WNBA players, I feel like, are very much on the forefront of social issues. How do y'all decide which social issues you're pushing? Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody wants to like really go after that, it's like, not like, how does that discussion happen?
The discussion happens in a number of ways, whether it's just like in the locker room or with the team chat, if it's something more local, but also with our WNBPA. So our Players Association, having Terry Jackson just help us a lot in realizing that, like I said earlier, we have this platform, and we are a league that is always continuing to advocate for equality and really for more in every single aspect. And we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't do that outside of this 94-foot court.
Absolutely. It's for Stewie fans who can't come to your game, right? Are there organizations or things that they can support either financially or with their time to like, I'm going to do this because Stewie loves this organization? Is there anything that you could shout out or bring attention to?
Yeah. I think that first off, I could say that people should donate to BG's Heart for Soul Drive, I believe it is. Shoe Drive, look up wherever you can donate shoes in NBG's absence, especially while she's away, wrongfully detained. I think that I do, for local people, I do a lot of work with Mary's Place in Seattle, whether that's donating stuff, making sure that they have, back to school needs, things like that. Really, if people want to help make a difference, it's obviously being active in your community. COVID relief is something that I definitely am big on, because my best friend's dad passed early in the pandemic.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, thank you. And just trying to be there for people that need it.
That's what's up. Last one, and honestly, we can do this off camera if you want. Prioritization. Like, what does prioritization mean from you? Like, to me, you have a spouse who's overseas. I seem that you probably like playing overseas. Yeah. Like, what does that mean for you?
Yeah. To me, prioritization is restricting what I love to do, and, putting me in a position to have to make a tough decision, whether to play overseas, whether to play WNBA. And the biggest thing about prioritization to me is, if you are going to try and take away my other source of income, then you need to implement it with something else.
Right?
And that's it.
Word. Okay, that's it. That's all of my time. I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much. Like, this is my first time covering the WNBA, and especially from my standpoint, you put people at ease in a way that I think is very unexpected. Like, I hope you don't find this offensive. You're very goofy, and you seem to be yourself, and just enjoy when you're playing and in the media, and just like, I've seen you out I've walked past you with Marta having dinner, and you're just yourself all the time, it seems like, and I love seeing that.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
See you later.
Yeah. Thank you. Look at that, 10 minutes. I did good.
You did good.
All right, so that's today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Balanced Sports, and I'm Jewelz. There's toys right there. Go play with the toys. Go play with the toys. Victory of the Seattle Storm. These fucking cats.